Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. It's your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief, APGAINS, and no, we're not just going to talk about the TIE Interceptor. Yes, the time you see this, I will not be at home. I will be at Disneyland. Isn't that awesome? We're talking about Galaxy of Heroes actually finally moving in the direction that I am happy with. As you guys know, APGAINS, myself, the greatest Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes YouTuber of all time, has made a name for myself by just complaining and being a general big baby. No one likes a big baby. That's why no one likes APGAINS. But nevertheless, here I am, optimistic, looking towards the future. Not because of the TIE Interceptor. I mean, yes, the TIE Interceptor is cool. But what else has been going on kind of secretly, behind the scenes, under the table, scurrying through your skin like those little roaches in the first Mummy movie that crawl up your skin? And then you come out and you're like, oh, I'm Promiscuous Penguin. Which god do I love? Whichever one saves me, I'm going to work for the mummy. I really hated that guy. He was a big cuck. Anyway, yes, the Thrawn ship, the fleet is looking pretty good. We also, as you guys know, we have the touch up to the TIE Advance, which is basically allows cooldown reduction for the capital ship, which is pretty awesome, which will make Thrawn's a lot better, maybe compete with Negotiator and Malevolence. Probably not Executor, but what we needed to counter the Executor was more Negotiator, Malevolence, and now Chimera level ships. More powerful ships so that, you know, at the end game, right, the people who've been playing for 6 years or the whales, you know, they can two-shot Executor. But for 90% of us, you know, if we fail that first one, we don't got leftover fleets. We place 2 fleets on defense, and we don't really have much left, so it's one or done, right? If you don't got the Executor, you can't counter the Executor. Basically, you just lost, right? But if they add more powerful ships, we can finally deal with the biggest problem in the game, which is literally the Executor. The Executor is, in my opinion, the worst decision they've ever made, ever. That includes, you know, Jedi Knight Revan and Galactic Legends and all of that other stuff. I think the Executor is the worst decision Capital Games has ever made, and I think they're finally starting to rectify that. I think what we're going to start seeing, I don't know, maybe a Resistance ship, maybe a First Order ship. I think they're going to start filling out the fleets because they realize that there is such a massive problem on our hands. Another thing I like, and this is going to be a small point, this is not going to take too much of your time, I like that we're getting Omicrons in the same teams. I like that we're building up, you know, we have an Akbar Omicron. Akbar we know is going to work really well with Princess Leia. They just added a Princess Leia Omicron, which doesn't do much and is still a huge investment. But remember, you know, Zetas were a huge investment back in the day, and now you're just slapping them on. Some people have 100, 200 Zetas, right? So eventually when Omicrons are less valuable, you know, we're going to be able to have teams that have been bumped up because of Omicrons. The same thing happened when Zetas came out. Zetas bumped up a lot of teams or in characters that were just completely useless before. Now, this is a long-term health thing. This is like a year from now when everyone who's been playing and the new players, you know, the new players are leveling up faster because of more accelerated rate stuff. Maybe we get P2 of gear eventually. I don't know. They said they're going to do it. Are they actually going to do it? Who knows? The players who've already been playing now are going to be advanced. You know, the cap's not going to be 10 million GP. It's going to be 11 million, 12 million. There's going to be more teams. There's going to be expanded GAC. You're going to need more squads. And we're actually going to have more squads to fill out those places. And I think this is a good idea for long-term health, taking those characters who are bad, making them a little bit better. Yes, you know, slapping an Omicron, a double Omicron on a Rebel team like Akbar and then Princess Leia, huge investment right now. Right now, huge investment. Don't do it. Excuse me. Absolutely don't do it. In the future, it's going to be nice to come back and know, like, God, you know, I just bumped up because matchmaking, maybe matchmaking still sucks, maybe matchmaking is better down there, but I can have solid, reliable defensive and offensive squads thanks to Omicrons there. Yeah, so I think it's just awesome that we're getting allegedly more ships to round out all of this stuff. You know, they said was it in this one or the other one? Oh, also, sorry, I said persuade instead of pursued in the last video. I'm sorry, guys, I know. Unacceptable. APGAINS doesn't know how to speak English. All good and fun. We are, you know, they're moving quickly. I think a big problem is around Christmas to like the end of January, they did nothing. I think they're super far behind and they're starting to catch up. You know, we're getting stuff like the TIE Interceptor and the Second Sister Inquisitors, you know, a TIE Advanced rework, you know, a big boost to Chimera, you know, Omicrons to the Rebels. I think they're just super far behind. Oh, hi, dog. I think they're just super far behind, and then eventually they'll catch up to Boba stuff. Eventually they'll get Mando. I mean, spoilers, you know, we're going to get some cool stuff that happened in the the Book of Mandalorian from the other night. And I'm excited about that, and I think they'll finally start catching up to that. But in the meantime, they've been, using their time relatively well, fixing up a little bit of holes in ships in some squads. And I think I hate to be too optimistic because every time I've been optimistic in the past, they fucking found a way to like stick their finger up my butt and then, twist my nutsack and stuff like that. But I think they're finally deciding that, we got to fix ships because Executor is the biggest problem in the game. We have to fix, maybe they'll fix Lord Vader sucking, which, I think would be at least a good idea for those people who spent money on the game for some reason. What's the next step? Obviously, the next step is adding a raid, but they're not going to do that. Oh, God, if only they would add raids. I think a heralding sign of when CG finally is going to bring Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes back to its former glory is going to be a new territory battle and a new raid coming in the same couple of months. I think the problem is they look at it like, how can we milk the most amount of money of our small group of spenders so that we can keep up with, Marvel Strike Force or Raid Shadow Legends, who don't have as many like high spenders, but they have more low spenders because there's more stuff to do in Marvel Strike Force and Raid Shadow Legends and all of those other games than there is to do in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So I think they're looking at it from the wrong perspective, the wrong lens. They're trying to, create money as opposed to creating new users, which it is what it is. I guess I'm no business econ mumbo jumbo man myself, so who's to say that that's not the correct business model? But I think if they add more ships, they're adding more teams. I feel like if they add a new territory battle along with a new raid, maybe do some actual advertising on the EA channel or just their own advertising. Like, how many times have you watched a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video on mine or Arnold's or someone else's, and you've seen a Raid Shadow Legends ad? How many times have you watched an Arnold video and he says he's actually doing a Raid Shadow Legends ad in the actual video? I think if they start to move in that direction, I think they can actually increase the player base. The shows are bringing a lot of hype. We're eventually going to get, spoiler alert for episode 6, I think, of Book of Mando, aka Book of Boba. You have been warned. We're going to get, lightsaber Grogu. We're going to get, probably not another Luke because he looks exactly like Jedi Knight Luke, but we're going to get another Mando. We're going to get a Black Chrysanthemum. We're going to get characters. And then from the Ahsoka show, we're going to get characters that people are excited about. And if they actually advertise those characters, people might actually come to the game and play the game. And then the health of the game will be better. If you add 100,000 players because they want to use, Beskar chainmail, Yoda's lightsaber Grogu, and they can actually use it. Like, maybe you don't have more whales spending $100,000 over 5 years, but maybe you have 1,000 people spending a few $1,000s, and then that's the same thing as a whale. So I just hope that they move in the direction of making the game healthier. I think they really, really, really need to add things for the health of the game and not just for the health of their pocketbooks. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.